Hello, my friends. Welcome. Jill here from Jill Ortiz Fitness, and I'm very excited today to have a special presentation for you all about harnessing motivation, focus, and confidence. So, why are we here today? I wanted to come here and do this because I am very inspired right now by a book that I'm listening to by Brendan Burchard, and it's called The 6 Habits of Growth. Now, my husband and I are both coaches by career. He coaches financial advisors. I coach women who are looking to get energized, confident, and strong, who are over 40, who are going through some changes and really need to find that right tool, the motivation, the tools, the focus and the accountability to get to their goals. And so my husband and I have a lot in common. One big thing is that we both realize that growth comes from working on yourself, working on your personal development, and that in order to get better at anything, you have to be actively procuring new tools, resources, tapping into mentors who are there and are really inspiring. And so we share an Audibles library. So that's on Amazon, Audible books. And this is a book that I happened to find in our library that I'm sure my husband purchased from one of our favorite authors. We have many favorite personal development authors. Brendan Burchard is one of them. And I love his peak performance habits. My husband loves other books of his, and they even have a certification to be a performance, kind of like a performance coach as well. And so we've both learned a lot from Brendan. Some of our other favorite authors include Grant Cardone, Mel Robbins, Tony Robbins, Hal Elrod, and more. But this is a really great book. It's very simple, and Brendan breaks down these 6 habits of growth. Now, I am still currently listening to the book at the moment, but when I got through these first 3 chapters on motivation, focus, and confidence, I immediately said, I have got to summarize these chapters for my clients and future clients. And I need to relate this to their fitness journey because it truly relates very well. And so that's what I'm going to do for you today is teach you a little bit about the 3 first chapters of this book, Motivation, Focus, and Confidence, and then apply them to our fitness journeys. So let's move on a little bit. So now motivation, this is a word I hear a lot. Every day when I have new members join my empowered fitness community for women over 40, looking to get energized, confident, and strong, the number one reason that I hear as to why women are not getting the results that they want is that they don't feel motivated to go after their goals and to change. So I have here the definition of motivation. It says it's the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way, the general desire or willingness for someone to do something. And I believe that there's certain factors that we can put in place that really help drive that motivation. One of the biggest ones for me is that connection, right, to your goals. And so from Brendan's perspective, he felt that the 3 keys to lasting motivation, he said number one, he talks about this a lot, is ambition, is defining your goals very clearly so that you can envision what it is that you want and beyond why that's important to you, but how it affects others in your life as well. So sometimes we're more motivated to achieve our goals because of other people, even more so than ourselves. For instance, many of the clients I talk to or prospective clients talk about how important it is that they feel more energized, that they feel healthy, that they're strong for their kids or their grandkids to play with them. Expectancy. This was a really neat concept as well. And this means your ability to actually believe that you can achieve your goals, that you have this motivation that's driven by the fact that you can envision what it will look like when you've achieved your goals, that you have belief in yourself, in the process, and that it's possible for you. Because if we didn't feel it was possible to achieve our goals, then we would not go for them, right? If we felt that diet and exercise would not help us at all to achieve our goals, we probably wouldn't even try. So this expectancy of achievement of your goals is incredibly important to Brendan. And then the last thing he says is focused action, aligning your daily habits with your objectives. So if you know that you need to lose weight and that you need to stop, that it would help if you ate healthier, then stopping fast food on a daily basis might be a help, for instance. So focusing your action on what's going to help you achieve your goals. So when I think about, just going into depth a little bit more about these motivation things with regards to ambition, right? So let's go back. Defining your health goals clearly, okay? So setting achievable goals, right? And what I would say, rather than the output goals, so rather than saying my goal is to lose 5 pounds, in the next 4 weeks, it's more of what is the clear, action oriented, thing that you need to do that you can really clearly see happening to help you achieve that goal. So, do you know what it would take to lose the weight, right? And then setting the input goals as opposed to the output goals, and still having output goals, something we're striving for. And even if we don't hit it, at least we're doing the things that need to be done. For example, I will strength train 5 times a week, right? I will hop on my bike every single Friday. I will make my meal plan. So setting achievable goals, not saying I will lose 50 pounds by June, but I will lose 5 pounds by the end of this month. I will lose 10 pounds by the end of next month. So, and then I believe too that when you're talking about the outcome goals, going deeper and getting that connection as to why, right? What does 5 pounds off of your body do for you? Maybe it gives you more energy. Maybe it makes you more confident in your clothing because you no longer have your muffin top. Maybe 50 or 100 pounds off would increase your lifespan, would give you energy to play with your kids, would take the pressure off of your joints if you're dealing with joint pain. And so going as deep as you can and continuing to ask, well, why is that important? Why is it important that I lose 5 pounds? So that I don't have a muffin top when I walk around. Well, why is that important? So that I can walk around with confidence. Well, why is that important? Because right now I'm unemployed and I need a job, and I walk in and I don't feel very confident in myself, and I think that other people can see that. Well, that's pretty important that you're projecting your own confidence if you want to be hired for a job, right? Especially in a competitive job market. So continuing to dig down really deep as to why. And then my belief is that writing it out is going to help you see it and imagine it, right? Expectancy realized. What I like is that when we talk about envisioning the possibility of achieving your goals, as you see small wins along the way, it's so important to be celebrating those wins for what we call boosting self-efficacy. Really having, it's almost like somebody else patting you on the back. Today I had a golf lesson, and I had a really great shot, and my instructor, he said, okay, put your hand out this way. We're going to do a stretch. And then I knew exactly where he was going. He had my hand out like this. I knew where he was going. I went like this and started patting myself on the back. And he expected every time I had a great shot to turn around and smile and to celebrate and say what I did well, because it boosts this ability to further see yourself succeeding, to start stacking the wins and creating that self-belief that you can become what you want to become. So that expectancy is really important. And again, what's the best way to do this? It's to put it out there. And that's why in my Empowered Fitness Mastery group, my community of clients, we celebrate our wins every single week. When I run a group challenge, we celebrate our wins every single week. When we finish a cleanse, we celebrate our wins publicly. We tell others what we've achieved. Number one, because it's good for us to see it. And it's also nice to be patted on the back by somebody else. Okay. And then the last one, this focused action, creating a supportive environment to foster growth. So just like I said, having a community where you feel urged or are urged to check in, where you can make it a habit to check in with others, where you're celebrating yourself, where you're showing up, where you feel a sense of, I need to show up. I have clients who meet with me sometimes every week or bi-weekly. I have clients who check in every single morning once they complete a workout, or every evening when they are done eating for the day. Having a place where it's expected. This is something that somebody said quite a while ago, but it's on my website under the testimonials. And somebody said that it is amazing to have a community where checking in is the norm, that healthy community building, that having this focused action that others take is just the norm of what people do. It can really help bring you in to do the same and to be consistent in taking that action that will foster your growth. So that's what I've seen from my husband and I, being surrounded by others who are looking for business growth or personal growth, that they tend to be people who listen to books or read books every single day. It's part of what they do because they know how important it is for personal growth and for expansion of business. Okay. So the next chapter was on focus. And so for me, focus is hard, and I'll show you too. One of my words for 2025, one of my affirmations for the year, it says, I am focused. I devote my energy to what truly matters. And that's something that I think it was one of my words for last year too. I struggle with somebody with ADHD. I have a very hard time staying focused, stay focused for a long time, whether it's in a short work session, in a long meeting or a conference, or in my health, my nutrition program, staying committed for very long. And so what we want to do, according to Brendan, is to direct our attention, number one, to the areas of life that matter most, perhaps cutting down and cutting out things that don't matter as much, even cutting out people who are not really serving us in our lives, and focusing on people and relationships that will. And so part of this is an evaluation of your current life areas that mean something really important to you. So something that I've done in the past, I know it's on a paper somewhere here. Here it is. This is old. This is from 2022. But this was a time when I would make a circle and I would name some different areas. So it's going to be different for different people. So you can see here I wrote health, mental well-being, personal growth, relationships, spiritual, career. On here I have marriage, finances, job, self-image, fitness, health, right? And so for different people, it's different things. And what you do is you make little pieces of the pie. And then you kind of, what you can do if you want, you can make little hash marks 1 to 10. And you can rate yourself in each area of your life and how that's going. And when you do the little coloring in, you can be really fancy about this if you want. But what this is going to show you is that in the most important areas, and this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 to 8 areas, which of these important areas are suffering the most, because that might be the area that you need to focus on the most, or which areas will affect more areas, right? So perhaps your mental well-being is going to affect your relationships, your career, your health. And so what are the ones that really need your focus? And you might have to take extra time and effort to really put that focus in those areas. Okay. So this might be a really good exercise for you to create this little chart. Okay. And then Brendan talks about building habits that become automatic that are going to support your goals, things that you focus on every single day that are going to really help you to build in those areas. So for instance, if I said that, marriage is one of my top priorities for the year, because when we're not getting along, that's putting everything kind of out of whack and the whole energy around the house is awful. Then maybe I can start building a habit where every day, as soon as I see my husband, I go up to him and I give him a kiss. And every night we don't go to bed without saying something that we're grateful for each other, that a quality of one another. And we always kiss and say goodnight before bed, right? And so those are just habits, and you can create habits in all areas. You can do devotionals, you can, work on something in your career like personal development, personal growth stuff. You can devote time to, reading something each day. Mental well-being, you can devote time and build time for your own mental well-being, perhaps by journaling daily or meditating daily or taking a walk for yourself by yourself, right? Time for thinking. So building habits will help you focus in again on these areas that you want to improve. And then the last thing is tracking progress. There is much science about tracking progress moves you along. For instance, I used to track progress of my business when I was in a business, a network marketing business. They told us, they would give us a calendar, and on each day there was 3 little lines, and you had to have 3 conversations with new people each day. And so in a 30-day period, we're having 3 conversations each day. That's about 100 conversations a month. And if you had everybody's name, and then you could go back and you could make sure you followed up with everybody, and then you can check off all the people who purchased something if you were selling something, and you can X out the people who aren't interested. Tracking that progress got me so far. I hit my goals every single month that I was in that business because somebody told me from the very beginning, you have got to track your progress. Same thing when we're looking in my group. Let's say somebody's looking to improve their sleep habits, they need more sleep, then we start doing a 30-day tracker. And we're tracking, what time do you shut down your screens? What time do you go to bed? What time do you wake up in the morning? How many hours did you get? And how did you feel the next day? And when we start tracking that for 30 days, we get really great information. When we track it for another 30 days, we see incredible change. And this is how you start to track. So with journaling and trackers to identify patterns and keep you accountable to moving forward and identifying what's going on and maybe distracting you and taking away your focus. So when we look at our fitness journey and we assess our life areas, one of the big things for me, and this was actually, so on the other side of this thing that I showed you here, this is the other side. This is my quarterly fitness audit. Now, this is a tool both on my website or in my Facebook group. If you just type in the word audit, or if you go to jillortizfitness.com/audit, then you can find this. And so this is something I like to have my clients do every 3 months, so quarterly. This is not assessing life areas. This is assessing areas that are imperative for you to succeed in your fitness journey. So the areas we audit and focus on are fitness, nutrition, time management and routines, accountability, and mindset, motivation, and goals. And so when you're focused on these items and you're evaluating what you've been doing and need to do, it's truly helpful. You could also consider this a progress tracker, right? You can go back, okay? When we talk about building habits for focus in our community, every Friday I post to my community, where's your weekly planner? Have you filled it out? This is what it looks like. It's got your fitness, your nutrition, and what's going on in life. And when we build this habit to fill it out every week, those who do it and make it a habit, like myself, I do it every single week, Then we have control. We have the vision. We can see what's coming up. We've done the planning that is perfect for succeeding, okay? We also do a Saturday check-in form in my Empowered Fitness Mastery program. So everybody in my program received a message from me today saying, please check in. Here's the link to the form. They all fill it out. Whoever fills it out, they get to hear back from me on their questions, on their concerns, on their wins, on what's going on, how they did in their program, what's coming up. And so that's a great habit for them to be checking in with me and having that contact with me each week. We also check in. So tomorrow is Sunday, and tomorrow they'll be hearing from me about checking into our Facebook group to talk about their wins for the week, which I told you was so important in building that motivation and that self-efficacy. So every Sunday, they know it's coming, right? To celebrate the wins. Planning on Friday, checking in with your coach on Saturday, celebrating wins with the team on Sunday. Think about these three things and how much focus this brings to the fitness journey and how much more action we're going to take based on these check-ins and these habits, okay? Then tracking progress, filling out your fitness and nutrition trackers, your measurement trackers. So like I said, filling out your planner, filling out a sheet to see how did you do in your workout this week? What did you use for weights? What are you going to use next week based on what you use this week? Filling out measurement trackers to see how you did. Let's say you did a 5-day cleanse. What did you look like on Monday? What do you look like on Saturday? What did you look like? What did you measure in at, weigh in at, measure in at 4 weeks ago to now? This is going to help you focus in on your goals and to figure out what it is that needs more focus, more change, and more action, okay? The last chapter that I want to go over from Brendan's book today is Understanding Confidence. I really love these 3 C's of confidence that Brendan talked about. He talks about confidence not being something that we're born with, but being something that is a skill to be developed through competence, congruence, and connection. So competence. Certainly, if you know what you're doing, you're going to go into anything feeling much more competent and confident, right? And so what I say, or what Brendan says, is you need to be building knowledge and skills to build confidence. So that could be knowledge and skills in fitness, nutrition, in all areas. So reading books, learning from mentors, surrounding yourself with other people who are growing and learning as well. Congruence. So this is something, if you ever, if you remember back to, I think, elementary school math, congruent means that they're the same. So which circle matches the circle over here? Can you find 2 congruent circles, right? Congruence in our confidence means that our actions align with our values. This is extremely important, that our actions align with our values. Have you ever done something that did not align with your values? Maybe something that was very wrong and it really bothered you for a long time? That's what we're talking about. Having congruence, having actions that align with your values, going to push you in the direction that you want to go, okay? And then connection. Have you ever been by yourself at a party and maybe not felt super confident as you would if you had a whole posse of friends around that you felt really confident going as a group? Have you ever wanted to go somewhere, but you're like, I'm not going unless a friend comes with me? So having support, having other people around you that you feel comfortable with, having that connection can really build your confidence as well, okay? So competence, congruence, and connection. So let's apply these to our fitness journey. So for competence, I believe, and this is why my coaching program is called Empowered Fitness Mastery. I believe that the more tools you add to the box, the right tools, are going to help you with confidence. They're going to educate you on what you're doing. How many of you feel like, I don't even know what to do. I don't know if I'm doing the right things. I don't know if what I'm doing is completely wrong. Well, when you get educated on the right things for you in this stage of life, it is amazing how your confidence will skyrocket. Okay, so starting with small, manageable steps, feeling competent in your journey by starting with maybe some short, doable workouts, done for you meal plans, doing a workshop of mine, maybe one per month, or looking through my YouTube channel, doing one a month, finding a podcast that you find helpful, listening to one per month, something that is small little bites adding on. So for me, I listen to my books, maybe 15 minutes to 30 minutes a day. It's adding, and if you do that, I forget what they say, like 15 pages a day, and you'll be reading over a dozen books in a year. And think of all the knowledge that you build up. Now, for me, I have certain books that I like to listen to over and over, so I really absorb the concepts in them. And rather than reading a ton of books, I like to really, like I did with this, digest the information, maybe turn it around, spin it, and then re-educate somebody else on it so that I know I absolutely understand it too. But what these small, manageable steps are going to do in your fitness journey is help you build confidence, build a solid foundation, and not overwhelm you at the beginning. Because if I throw everything but the kitchen sink at you on day one and you're not starting in small little steps, then you're not building that sense of competence and confidence. You might feel crushed, okay, by all of the information coming at you. I've felt that way even as a personal trainer, as a professional in this industry. I was looking at a fitness program, it's fitness and nutrition, that I purchased from another coach that I'm going to do in a couple months. I'm telling you, I'm going to do it in a couple months because I feel like it's going to take me that long to read through all of the materials that are involved. There's like 50 pages in a PDF to get you ready to do this program. And there's all of these videos to get you ready. I feel like it's so much that I need a lot of time to digest it, to get ready. It's overwhelming even for me as a professional. Imagine if I wasn't a professional. So I like to do hand holding with my clients to get them going, to make sure that at every step they feel competent in what they're doing. Okay. Congruence with regards to the fitness journey is, again, celebrating your progress, reinforcing your self-belief, saying, hey, I did this little thing. I'm not broken. Hey, I did these couple little workouts. I can do this. I can do just a little bit, and I can be building and celebrating myself at every step of the journey. Okay. A big thing too, I love this, reframing setbacks as learning opportunities. I never yell at my clients for eating the wrong thing. I do it all the time. I never yell at them if they ghost me. I have a client who just said today, I'm so sorry I ghosted you in the last month. I've got so much going on. I just mentally needed to kind of like reset myself, but I'm going to set up a call with you. I would never shame them, blame them for stepping away, but more congratulate them and build them up for having the confidence and that the guts to come back and say, okay, I'm ready. And we can't look at our setbacks as, things to be guilted for or that we've lost anything, because generally we can learn lessons from those little stumbles along the way. I will tell you that any successful person on this earth has stumbled and fallen on their face many, many times. Probably the more successful you are, the more times you've fallen on your face. And all we can do is use all those little stumbles as learning opportunities to improve. Okay, so connection. So important. This is what we do in my community. I encourage you to join a network of like-minded individuals. So if you're over 40 going through hormonal changes and nothing's working that used to work, find those ladies that are feeling the same way. And that's why I built this community, so that it was easier for you all to find each other and have a coach who's focused on exactly you, right? One of the things I love, and I've seen this in the communities I've been building now for over 10 years, is seeing my clients reach out to one another and building bonds. And I'll tell you, the first time this happened, where I found out that three of my clients had really bonded and that they had become very close friends without me, I felt awful. But then I realized that that was my job, not to be in the friend group, but to have connected them and given them that comfort in one another because they're at the same stage as each other, but I was not at the same stage as them. But now I love hearing that my clients reach out to one another, that they feel connection, because that's amazing. And I've done the same thing with people, my peers. So I have a coach in my business, and I connected with a woman in our little coaching mentorship who is on my level. And she and I kind of broke off from the whole group, and we go back and forth and we help each other every single week. And that's a really great way to find your people, is through a group that you were brought into. Supporting, helping, cheering each other on. That's something that we see in my communities as well, is telling each other, posting in a Facebook group your amazing things of the week and then cheering one another on. What's better than than patting yourself on the back is having somebody else tell you how amazing you're doing, or having a whole group of other ladies saying, you are doing so good. I love watching you, keep sharing. And that, I think, is so important too, is sharing your journey outwardly in inspiration for those in your life who are important to you and those you don't even know. So a long time ago, I started sharing my journey when I had a very quick transformation. When I started 10 years ago, when I was at my lowest of lows and I hired a coach to help me, I immediately started seeing results, and I started sharing those results. So I lost about 10 pounds in 2 weeks. And over the course of maybe 6 weeks, I lost 6 dress sizes. I went from a size 12 to a size 6. And I immediately felt that I needed to share this with other people, that I had found something that worked for me, that I, who didn't believe in myself, finally did. And I felt that me having seen other people get results, people who I connected to, that them sharing their journey was what inspired me. So I felt that maybe I could pass that on to others by inspiring them as well. Now I know that it's not just people who watch on social media, it's my friends, it's my family, it's my kids, my husband, who are also very much so inspired and influenced by my sharing my journey, whether it's the good things or the bad things. It's all really important. And it also helps keep you personally accountable if other people know what you're striving for. Asking help when you struggle. So having enough connection with either a community, other people, a coach, to where if you're struggling, you can ask for help. Leaning in is always going to be more helpful than shrugging away, than hiding and being in solitude. That is not a really good place to be when you're struggling, but asking for help and having others to lean on, like somebody like myself. I love all of my clients. I love people who I don't even know. I'm just a very empathetic person, and I tend to take others' struggles on my own shoulders. I feel responsible as somebody who can help. And it means so much to me to see other people empowered, come out of their shell, and feel that gain of confidence. So all these reasons here for connection are so important, and they will help you build confidence. It's like going into a party solo versus going in with a group of friends who are just like you. All right, so some conclusions. I think the best thing you can do is to set some clear intentions. Be ready to get yourself motivated, right? Build that focus, the habits you need to do, really set some clear intentions of where you want to get and what you need to do to get there. Being consistent in those habits that you've pinpointed, those focused, pinpointed habits that are really important for what you want to achieve. Being consistent, having accountability to those things, believing that you can achieve your goals. If nothing was standing in your way or you didn't let anything stand in your way, believing that you are capable of achieving anything that you set your mind to is so important. Unlocking your potential and creating lasting change, being a person who never settles. You always are going to be looking for growth and figuring out new ways to achieve your goals, to grow, to set the bar higher and higher, and to take action. If you are not a client of mine, if you are not doing one of my programs and you feel that you are in the right place and that I am the right coach for you, then you gotta stop sitting back and doing nothing. It's time for you to make a game plan. I have something called a game plan call, and you can go to programs.jillortizfitness.com and you can schedule a time with me for a free consultation call, and we can talk about all these things, your motivation, your focus, your confidence, your goals, and we can make a plan of action to get you there as soon as possible. Thank you so much for joining me today in this presentation. I hope that it was helpful, that you enjoyed it, and that you take action, and I will see you soon.